absolutely scathing quotes coming out from that Phillies player meeting that Rob Manfred held a week ago. We heard some of the fire that came out of it from Nick Castellanos last week, but now we've got the full back and forth exchange that involved Bryce Harper and Rob Manfred. Quiet for the majority of the meeting. This is in an ESPN article. New York Post was on this. A bunch of the sites now have all this up. But in Jeff Passan's article, quiet for the majority of the meeting. Bryce Harper, sitting in a chair and holding a bat, eventually grew frustrated about, and I'm paraphrasing here, Manfred's salary cap innuendo, because they talked a lot about how he was hinting around that and talking down to the players, and said if MLB were to propose a cap and hold firm to it, players, quote, this according to Harper, are not scared to lose 162 games, sources in the meeting told him. Harper stood up, walked toward the middle of the room, faced up to Manfred and said, if you want to speak about that, you can get the bleep out of our clubhouse. Manfred, sources said, responded that he was not going to get the bleep out of here, saying it was important to talk about threats to MLB's business and ways to grow the game. Nick Castellanos did speak on the record again about this. He said both of them, Commish and Bryce, were giving it back and forth to each other. He said, that's Harp. He's been doing this since he was 15 years old. It's just another day. I wasn't surprised. Castellanos later said, Manfred seems to be in a pretty desperate place on how important it is to get this salary cap because he's floating the word lockout 2 years in advance of our collective bargaining agreement expiration. Said that's nothing to throw around. That's the same thing as me saying in a marriage, I think divorce is a possibility. It's probably going to happen. You just don't say those things. And in the back of our heads, we're like, why are you talking to us like owning a baseball team is like owning a nail salon? That you're only going to be a functional business if you can make up the money that you put in this year.
I love this.
Drop the mic. Oh my God.
I love this.
Wow.
I mean, Bryce Harper, nose to nose.
Can we air that next time? That would get millions. Oh my gosh. MLB, you want to fix some content issues? Because Manfred was on record the other day saying he's buying into creators like us now and he's into it, right? You want to fix it? Well, he said it on the record.
Well, not us.
Not us. Yes, he doesn't own a piece of us. They do not touch us at all. They, in fact, don't let us use like any highlights. Anyway, you want some content? Give me that meeting streaming live.
Yeah. And people in the chat are like, Harper should get suspended. Why?
What? For
this
what?
has nothing to do with anything. This is his opinion. And Castellanos, what he said, like, that's what he said. Perfect. Like, what he said was awesome.
You're not allowed to tell the commissioner to get out of your clubhouse in the middle of a playoff race because he's talking to a bunch of veterans about why they need a salary cap to fix their lives?
I think maybe Rob should have maybe measured his words. I think he's going into other clubhouses. Think about how young some of the other clubhouses are. And if he goes in there and says, I could get you guys more money, and those guys are like, I could get $300,000, $400,000 more a year? That would be awesome. He's going into these guys' clubhouse, and you got Schwarber, Harper, Wheeler, Nola, Castellanos,
on and
Turner,
on. Yeah.
Dudes that are making hundreds of millions of dollars, and they're like, no. We're not looking for $300,000 extra a year to the minimum salary. We want what's best for the game. And he obviously is coming in here like a preemptive strike for a lockout. I loved his analogy. You use the word divorce in a happy marriage, like you're giving yourself and you're making that kind of thing happen. Like he's using the word lockout before it's even like, how is that good faith? Legally, federal law says you have to negotiate, you have to have good faith negotiations. And if he's already saying, you know what, to build the game, we're going to have to lock it out. All right, fans, just make sure you know if that happens, who's the one that locked it out. It's not a strike. The players aren't doing this. This is an ownership that's saying, we're going to go ahead and lock you guys out till we get what we want.
My thing is were there any of the players in there?
Oh, the player group. The cap? The players that he brings around?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good question. We should ask one of them.
I
actually think that's making his case worse because everyone knows the deal. Like you're bringing what? You think that's helping?
What do you mean? Why is that making it worse?
Because don't you think current players are like, why are you bringing these guys around to try and turn us against ourselves and vote for things that you want?
I think there's informed players that are confused by that tactic, but I don't think he's trying. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't think Rob Manfred is trying to get to the informed players. He's getting to the uninformed players, and he's getting to the people who Major League Baseball are calling up. It's 52% of the league has less than 3 years of service. Of the guys with more than 3 years of service, 52% of them never make it to free agency. So that whole group, that's who he's talking about. The guys that make it to free agency, he's not talking to them. He's talking to the majority in the clubhouses. So he's bringing those guys in and being like, hey, guy with a year of service, just coming in here to talk about how we can make you guys more money. And that guy's like, sure, I can use more money. Oh, sick, you brought over this star. Oh, man, Gary Sheffield's coming in with you. Dexter Fowler's coming. I remember watching those guys. It's all young players that they're bringing in to smooth those over. Bryce Harper might dab somebody up, but if you come in and start talking, he's not looking to like talk to players that like he played against and battled against for a majority of his career.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just like, what do you expect a veteran player to say to one of the players that Rob is whining and dining to go around for these meetings? Like, oh, everything you made your money on, now you think we should change it? Oh, yeah, that sounds like a great idea.
I mean, Rob doesn't do anything by accident also in the name of the system.
No doubt. That's why there's a massive distrust issue, and he has been on the record multiple times, though. Yeah, but he's been on the record
read
for
Evan
this.
Drellick's article in The Athletic about I was quoted in it because we had the Dexter Fowler interview, which kind of opened this a little bit eyes to people. But he says it in there. He's like, there's a storm coming, which everyone kind of knows. But now that's like two sides. It's almost like politically, right? Like how left and right we are, whichever side you're on. Like, why can't we just get to the middle? It's almost like with the owners and the players. Why can't we just get to the middle? And everyone says we want to grow the game. We do, but why can't we get it together? Instead, it's like, we got to do this. And then the other side's like, we got to do this, right? Like, why can't we just meet in the middle somewhere?
So Commissioner Manfred's on the record saying that he has done a bad job of relations with players. He will say that himself. And he says he's trying to fix that. And that's part of why he does meetings. Yet the meetings from most players I speak with are just about him using innuendo to talk about a salary cap. So you want to make friends, right? And say peace. It's like going to war. And then after war saying, let's actually have meetings and let's have dinner. But then during that dinner, all you do is talk about the war. Do you know what I'm saying?
I get you, yeah.
Like if you actually cared about relations, you would have that meeting and be like, how we doing? I'm not going to talk about anything with labor. How we doing? Like, let's try and just be friends and talk about even smaller issues and also just growth. Let's talk about growth. How do we make more money? How do we bring in younger fans? Right? But to me, it sounds like you're getting an hour with a team and the hour is revolving around the salary cap. I don't get it. I don't get that. Like, I understand that everything's for a reason, but that's like too blatant. If you're trying to win people over, don't just come at them with the thing that's going to piss them off. Right? Isn't that just a bad tactic PR-wise? Think about it. If you guys are players, I'll stay out of the rest of this. You're a player. Someone comes in and says, hey, I've had crappy relations. They come in and say, hey, business is not great or should be better because we should have a salary cap. What would your response be?
No. Just immediate no. That's not.
Here's the other thing. Yeah, it would be no. But here's my thing. For veteran players, if you talk to about salary caps in other leagues, NBA, NFL, NHL, the players who are already, like, let's say they somehow do get a salary cap. Say the salary cap is $200 million, and the Phillies are at $250 already. I don't even know the number. These are just fake numbers, okay? Then did Harper, Turner, Real Muto, Schwarber, the guys who were signed, Castellanos, have to give money back to help them get under the cap?
Yes.
Like,
that's what happens in other sports.
It's like, it doesn't make sense. Now, in other leagues, they've done this. The NHL gave back a quarter of their salaries in 1 year after they were locked out for a year just to get back on the ice.
But also players all will, like, even Brady did it.
NFL happens all the time.
Like
NFL
Tom Brady
players
did
like, oh, I got to get cut, go to a new team because I'm signed to a guaranteed deal, but I'm cut before minicamp. And I mean, I don't know. Listen, I don't know enough about it, but I know this. Players don't want to give back money.
Yeah, and super teams are formed when a bunch of players get together and they're like, hey, we're all going to take less so that we can dominate here. So that's what they want, because you're restricted at that point. You can't have an open market. Let's be real. There's plenty of fans that feel like their team doesn't have a shot. The problem is most of the fan groups are rooting for organizations that are not run properly. That's it. And I don't know what the answer is in those meetings. I'm sure Harper goes, hey, we're in Philly. What's going on in Pittsburgh? And I would love, again, for this to be streamed and to hear his answer. What's the answer? What's going on? Why is that a thing?
What do the owners and the players have in common about baseball? They both want to make the most money possible. Can we agree on that?
100%.
Okay. So that's what we should be doing, is how do we grow the game? The tagline for Foul Territory: baseball the way it's supposed to be covered. We are supposed to grow this game. Everybody on this show, working with this show, loves the game of baseball. If you are trying to get selfishly one side more than the other side, you're cutting your own feet out from underneath you, because you're not allowing yourself, baseball's not allowing itself to get out of its way, sell the product, which is the players, which is the game that's being played. And then that rising tide raises all ships. Everybody gets, so there is a happy medium somewhere in the middle. Players say no salary cap. Owners say salary cap. Okay, couldn't be farther apart on those two issues. Wipe it off the table. We're not talking about it. Sorry, that's not growing the game. How do we grow the game? And it's a content. It's letting the players actually have a say in different things. It's having owners maybe be a little more out front and explain to players and not be so cloak and dagger and, well, we would never actually open our books to anything because we don't want you to see this. Like, there has to be a give and take. So everybody's like, just open all of your books and say, you know what? This is what's going to grow the game of baseball that we all love and we all want to compete at.